Top of the morning, bros. Pray all are blessed. I pray all are well. I pray life is the best definition of fucking perfect, dog. You working on your goals and dreams and ambitions, pushing yourself forward to make it happen, and will that shit into reality, man. It's been a wild day. I ain't gonna lie, I'm tired. Tired, tired, champ. Caught me some Z's. Woke up late on Mr. O's show. You feel me? But still tired nonetheless. Excuse me. Motherfucking 245 miles and 2 jobs later, your boy got it in. But I was struggling, trying to think of a topic, because I wanted to say something, but I ain't know how to say it right. And it dawned on me. This word has been around for forever, long as I can tell. Keeping it copacetic, right? Bruh, I realized something a while ago that the happier you are, the more peaceful you are, the more that bitch gonna rage against you. Secretly, quietly, and sometimes very, very motherfucking loudly. Whenever you give it what it wants, it just moves the goalposts. Whenever you procure resources, it keeps on bitching for more. Now, from what I read in the Bible and what I've seen here on this earth and learned throughout life, it is always going to complain. It's always going to bitch. It's always going to take the lower road. It is always going to be the best definition of, nah, nigga, this ain't it. Us, however, we're trained to keep everything copacetic to a certain point. That point may be when your mental and your psyche breaks, or it may be when you just say fucking and give up. You can't please a creature that's insatiable. Now, I'm gonna quote somebody, and he's a very revered character as far as I'm concerned in my life. But good old Uncle D said there is no physical destination for a psychological problem. But when he spoke on that, he was directing it toward men. Women, however, it still applies. Same shit. You're trained to keep it copacetic. They're trained for battle, conflict, and war. It's a real battle, conflict, and war. Meets them and greets them and invites their ass on, man. Come on and square dance real quick. Then that whole face changed and she realized it's real now. Wow, babaloo blah blah, bam, boom, go sleep. Finding peace here in the West is an extremely difficult thing unless you're a man of resources and means, and you, for lack of a better word, you got money. But even when you have that, things can still backfire on you horribly. Don't believe me? Look at Johnny Depp, Amber Heard. She was dropping deuces on that man's bed. Nasty bitch. Allegedly. Anyway. But we're trained here, we're socialized here to keep everything copacetic to the best of our ability. And it's gotten us nowhere. Just men in general. It's gotten us nowhere. Not really. There haven't been any great inventions that's come from this. There hasn't been any milestones reached. If anything, it's just been us hitting them with a heavy output and them receiving and then scoffing at the end result. The Western woman can't be really pleased, bro. Because no matter what she receives in the end, the self entitlement means that she wants more. I remember one day, right? I was talking to this little hoe, and this little hoe had gone out there and had her a couple babies, a few chits, and decided one day that her lifestyle wasn't fulfilling enough. And instead of being a married woman to a man in uniform, which I didn't know none of this at the time, but I found out later on, um, it would be more pleasant, more comfortable to be a hoe walking these streets, out here on the blade, right? And I looked at the bitch like she was crazy. She had moved 3 states away from her hometown, and she was firmly fixed with boots on ground out this motherfucker, or up that motherfucker, I should say. Just a grown woman living her life. Long story short, she had lost custody of her kids. Major red flag right there. And that lifestyle of being out here on these streets somehow was more appealing than being a married woman with a husband that has a secure position in life, that has room to elevate and maneuver himself into a better position, right? Well, see, he had a problem. He had been trained to keep things copacetic. That bitch was ravenous, and she was like, nah, I want more. I want as much as possible. All day, every day. Looking at how the Westernisha, shout out to Jack Black, the Keisha, shout out to AC, or the wild wilder bitches condition. Bro, you ain't never gonna be able to train them. Not in a manner that's proper for you. And I'm not saying it because I don't believe in you, bro. I just have been out here for a while, cuz, and I've delved into it. I've tried it, and they're trainable up to a point, but you gotta treat that bitch like a straight hoe, and be willing to go to jail and get into fights and be locked up and all kinds of other shit. Cause she gonna do something dumb. You're gonna have to bail the bitch out, and put money on her books and all that other shit. Dog, it ain't worth it, man. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. All for the sake of keeping things copacetic with this violent, retarded, overly aggressive hoe that ain't never had her weed readjusted type shit. You know what I'm saying? And when that day finally come, not saying you be the one to do it, but when that day finally come, she can understand it. after her lifestyle of being slothful and crime. Well, she run to them people. Yeah. How does a criminal run to them people? How does a degenerate run to them people? Well, makes no sense. But you've still been trained to keep it copacetic. You can't keep shit copacetic with your motherfucking enemy. You run into that camp or encampment like Conan the Barbarian and get the lopping off heads. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to that creature, well, let's take a soft approach. Why and how? See, keeping things copacetic means you're more or less acquiescing to this raggedy bitch's desires and hopes and goals and dreams and putting your shit on the back burner, even though it may be the furthest thing from fucking reality. If you can't make it happen, ultimately it's gonna be a nigga fuck you. Cause she spent all that time giving you some pussy and being there for you in her diminished capacity type shit for real. And if you can't make it happen, for me, fuck you. The creature does not know structure. It does not know order. Hell, it doesn't even recognize law. You have whole countries out here to recognize law, at least, but not the creature. No sir, no sir. The creature do what it want to do, and ultimately, at the end of the day, that creature gonna keep doing what it do until it can't do it no more. Hence the reason why you have so many of them out here looking crazy, being bag ladies and cat ladies and bird ladies and shit now. But during the pandemic, had them a good old job in IT. And was the director of marketing over sales and management. You know what I'm saying? But they ain't got no job no more. Was the whole fucking lead healthcare staff assistant for, I don't know, fucking my nigga needle check or whatever. Bitch ain't got a job now though. Because of the whole attitude of keeping things copacetic. It put up a false fucking veil for these bitches that made them believe that their own delusion meant something. And now they learning. Now they learning, bro. Like, nah, you disposable too. I watched the whole video and I've seen this play out in real life as well in front of me of a bitch crying, boo hooing her eyes out because her position was reduced. She was let go. She couldn't be the big wheel no more. And she booed. Not because she lost her position. No. Because she found out it really wasn't no real position. Like no one needs a fucking art major's input on how HR is supposed to go. Much less makes them the boss and puts them in charge. And then they figure out and find out whatever they spent all that money on for that degree ain't worth shit paper. Ultimately, at the end, most of these hoes is not equipped properly to really deal with life. And too many men have helped ensure that delusion holds tight to their psyche and they ain't going nowhere until they fucking crash out and flame out. Because they realize, well, bitch, you really ain't that important. Bitch, you really ain't that special. Bitch, we really don't need you. Yeah, yeah. But just for keeping things copacetic, the way you can enjoy whatever meager scraps you get from the hoe. Especially if it's a Western woman, it ain't gonna be much. Unless you want some shit and you really got a firm hand and putting demand on that bitch. But that's a whole nother story. Uh, and it's not gonna be worth it in the end. It's not, bro. It's not. Not unless you're willing to invest hours upon hours of learning and dealing and figuring out how to maneuver them and before they can maneuver you and it the whole process is shit sucks. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit, bro. It's all bullshit. Can it be done? Yeah, sure can. Will you enjoy it? No, nah, you won't. You may have some fun in that moment, but after it's all said and done, you'll look back like the fuck with this. Nah, nah, I'm good. But for the sake of keeping things copacetic, men sacrifice a lot. But in the end, is it really worth it though? Is it really worth your time, your dime, and your energy? Myself personally, I don't think so. Really don't, bro. I've been out here, I tried it, and at the end of it, after it was all said and done, bruh, all I had was a broken bitch with a broken mind that was more than willing to sell pussy than actually try to be better, to make something of herself. I hope if you gonna sell pussy, you gotta learn about this real estate shit too. And she was like, nah, not doing it. There's some of the most hard headed, willfully, mentally absent creatures in the fucking world. If a motherfucker offers you a free ride in life, then turn around and was like, yeah, but I need you to learn this. How many of y'all be like, nah, not doing it? I don't want to learn nothing new. I want to stay right here in the same knowledge base I currently have, and I ain't trying to motherfucking find out shit. A man living that kind of life will find himself quickly removed, replaced. On to the next one. A bitch does it, and she like, oh, I'm still good. It's not that bad until she hits that very final point of the wall, and ain't nobody hollering at her no more. Ain't nobody come see about her no more. But it is what it is. Am I surprised by the actions of these modern day women? Fuck no. Do I thoroughly expect them to keep going until they flame out completely, totally? Fuck yeah. Why? Well, seems to be what they designed to do. Hmm. It's written into their motherfucking genetic code at this point. Be a good bitch and be a good woman and be a good wife. Hard. Cook for him. Take care of him. Clean for him. Or be a disrespectful, hard headed on for the moment, but it's only temporary. bad bitch out here and live her best life, even though she knows it's only temporary. The hoe she prefers the latter. Temporary food and dick and food. Yeah, if you can promise a bitch that, she'll love you till the sun burn out around this bitch. But ultimately, ultimately, it never fucking lasts. But here's the part they don't say. They good with that. Because in truth, they really want to move on to the next one anyway. hmm You was a temporary lick and a temporary stick. Most bank robbers don't hang around the bank they just rob and call that home and start making a sandwich and shit. Nah, they get in, they get the fuck out. These bitches will hang around and linger in an attempt to suck up more resources before they vamoose and remove themselves from your presence in your life. And you could allow it, but I would not suggest you do that. It ain't worth it. Uh, Ultimately, at the end of the day, that hoe will keep doing what she do. She's been trained and conditioned that way for years. And a big part of that training came from her mama. You could be the hero, don the cape, and put that motherfucker smooth on, but all that's gonna happen is she gonna leave you high and dry, or she may tell a lie on your ass because you're so good that she's jealous of how your goodness, even though she benefits from it and gets to talking that bullshit. Now you gotta choke the bitch. See, like, nah, ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. But for the sake of keeping things copacetic, I get it. You know, do unto others as you want done unto you. But nah, bro. Uh-uh. Let's not forget, these are the same group of individuals that a few months ago couldn't even decide what a woman is. Let's not forget, these are the same group of individuals that a little while ago that said, air quote, trans slash air quote, trans, excuse me, untrans women are still women. This the same group of women that said, I don't cook, I don't clean, but I still got this ring. They mean you no good. And you as a man and one to just keep shit copacetic, it ain't always gonna be enough, bro. It's not. It's not. No, sir. Pretty much in a nutshell, the hoe was doing her best, working her hardest to crash out. And here you go stopping her. Yeah, I'm guilty of it too. I've been there and done that, but I've learned my lessons. And them lessons were, they weren't easy, bro. They weren't. At the end of the day, you you trying to keep everything copacetic becomes more than just a hindrance. It's something they really won't and really don't tolerate. They'll just never say it to you like that, though. The more benevolent you become, the more the hell gonna hate you because you reflect back to her all her flaws, all her ugliness. Now, a truly cold bitch ever will feel all that, experience all that, but turn right around and allow you to still experience her, use her, so on and so forth. Because at the end of the day, it's more like carrying game, mayonnaise marriage game. At the end of the day, she's still gonna hit you and get you and use you. The B Dub tries to do it off the break. Well, the Snow Bunny does it over time, but she weighs them options because she knows that if things don't things don't quite go right, well, her life's on the line, and stuff happens. Chris Benoit. Anyway, I'm about to lay it down for the night. Get my ass back the fuck up. In the next few, start all over again. Y'all brothers be easy, man. Be smooth. Be blessed. Be aware, man. Be aware. And don't open yourself up to any liability if possible. Because keeping shit copacetic is what got a whole lot of us fucked up. Real talk. Think about it. But I'll leave it there. Peace, y'all. Y'all bros be easy. Y'all be smooth. Y'all have a great productive day. And maybe tomorrow I'll jump back on the early morning motivation. But as of right now, just looking at shit for what it is. Flat out raw what it is, bro. Too many brothers have been keeping that shit copacetic when they should have been motherfucking keeping that shit up that while and I can't say it on YouTube. Shit. Removing. Yeah. From the shoulders up to the chin. The the enemy. Yeah. And for all y'all to be like, contractor, I don't view her as that. Well, I hear you, brother. But that's how they view you. A combatant that can get it anytime, anywhere. And it don't matter who around. But I'll leave the part there. Y'all bros be easy. I'll be smooth. I'm gonna lay this shit down. Peace, y'all.